Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shakina Iman Faikal Binti Sabri, CB25164. Today I will present our group introductions project. So our group do the online salon booking system management. So we found several issues in the traditional salon management, which is more done manually, that doesn't have a proper system. So what the issues we found? It is first difficult to track user roles and customer records without a proper authentication system. Next, customers have limited information about services, pricing, and duration before visiting. After that, the booking through phone calls or text message may lead to human error and scheduling conflicts. Lastly, no centralized dashboard for customers and beauticians to manage appointments efficiently. So for our proper solution that we want to fix the traditional salon management, we want to do a web-based system design to improve salon management through 4 integrated modules. First, we have user authentication that can secure login and registration for customers, beauticians, and admin. So next, service directory. We have a digital catalog with service details, pricing, and estimated duration. So next, for the booking and payment, we have online appointment scheduling with secure digital payment. And lastly, we have role-based dashboard that customers can track bookings while beautician can see the daily schedules efficiently.
Now I will explain the contact diagram of the online salon appointment booking system. This diagram shows the interaction between the system and 3 external entities: customer, beautician, and admin. The customer can register, log in, view services, make appointment, and make payment. The system then provide booking update, login response, and payment receipt. The beautician manage appointment schedule by viewing, booking, and accepting or rejecting appointment requests. The admin manage the system by requesting service and payment report to monitor business performance. Overall, the contact diagram gives a high-level overview of how information flow between user and the system.
My name is Ainan Mardia binti Saifin Nizam. My metric ID is CB25175. Now I will explain our use case diagram. This diagram shows how 3 actors, the customer, beautician, and admin, interact with our online salon appointment booking system. So the customer has the most interaction. They can register, log in, view the service list, view service detail, and make a booking, make a payment, and access their customer dashboard. So the beautician can log in, manage bookings by accepting or rejecting appointments, and view their beautician dashboard. The admin can log in, manage service details by editing and updating service, and generate payment reports. So all 8 use cases are connected to the right actors based on their roles. This diagram helps us understand who does in the system. That's all for the use case diagram.
For the managed registration sequence diagram, we have mapped out 3 different situations. On the far left is the basic flow. This shows what happens when everything goes right. A new user enters their information, and the system checks it and saves it to the user info table and display a success message. So the other 2 diagrams handle errors. In the middle, exception flow 1, which is incomplete details, shows that if a user leaves a required field blank, the system stops and gives an error message. So on the far right, which is exception flow 2, that user already exists, shows how the system checks if an email is already in the database, so it can stop people from creating duplicate accounts. For the manage login sequence diagram, just like the registration part, we have a tree diagram. For the basic flow on the left, the customers enter their email and password. So the system checks the detail against saved data. If it matches, the system creates a new session record and logs them in. So for the middle diagram, which is exception flow 1, incomplete input, shows what happens if a user leaves a field blank. The system instantly blocks the attempt and asks them to fill it in. Finally, on the right, exception flow 2, which is invalid credentials, handles what happens when someone types the wrong password or username, so the system stops them and gives a fail login warning.
Now I will present my sequence diagram. So the first module is manage service list. So the basic flow start when the customer click the service menu button. The service interface sends a request to the service controller, which retrieves all service records from the service record database. And the service interface then display all available service to the customer. Okay, for the exception flow, if no service exists in the database, the service controller returns empty record and the system display an alert message to the customer. Now, we will move to the next sequence, which is manage service details. There are three flows here. First, alternate flow A1. Customer select a specific service. The customer click a service. The service interface sends a request to the service controller, which retrieves the specific service details from the service record and display them to the customer. Second, alternate flow A2. Admin update service content. So, the admin click edits the information and click save. The service interface sends the updated record to the service controller, which write it to the service record and returns a confirmation. For the third one is exception flow E1, invalid format input. If the admin enters non-numeric characters in the price or duration fields and click save, the service controller check the data format and return a validation error. And the system sends an alert message to admin. That's all for my sequence diagram.
Hi, my name is Leong E and my matric number is CB25170. I will be presenting the sequence diagram managed booking and managed payment. First, for managed booking, we have four alternative flows. A1, add booking. The customer fills the form, the controller validates it and saves it to the database, and the interface displays a success message. A2, update booking. The customer modifies a booking, the controller updates the database, and a success message appears. A3, delete booking. The customer clicks delete, confirms via a pop-up, and the controller removes the record from the database. The customer requests to view a booking, and the controller fetches and displays the details from the database. For the basic flow, a beautician views and accepts a booking. The controller updates the status to accepted and notifies the customer. There are also two exception flows. E1, reject booking. The beautician rejects a booking, updating the status to rejected and notifying the customer. E2, booking not available. If a customer picks an unavailable slot, the database returns an error and the interface displays a not available message. Next is manage payment, which has three alternative flows. A1, make payment. The customer selects payment method. The controller routes it to the external payment gateway, updates the database to pay once approved, and show a receipt summary. A2, view receipt. The customer views their payment history and click a record to open a full receipt details pop-up. A3, generate payment report. The admin requests a report and the controller aggregates database record into a downloadable summary. We also handle two exception flows here. E1, payment gateway timeout. If the gateway fails to respond, the system triggers a timeout error and prompts a retry. E2, transaction decline. If the gateway rejects the transaction, the interface displays a payment decline message with the reason.
Moving on to the sequence diagrams, let's first look at the managed customer dashboard. The basic flow on the left illustrates how the customer accesses their profile, booking status, and payment history through the interface, controller, and database entity. When the customer submits a request to update or perform an action, the controller validates the request, updates the database, and returns a success message. On the right, exception flow 1 shows our error handling. If the controller detects a connection timeout while retrieving dashboard data, it displays a timeout message and prompts the customer to click retry to reinitiate the process. Next, we look at the managed beautician dashboard. This basic flow demonstrates the interaction required for a beautician to handle appointment requests. When the beautician opens the dashboard, the appointment controller retrieves their daily schedule and all pending requests from the database entity. The beautician can click on a specific appointment to view its full details. Once they perform a chosen action, such as approving or declining a slot, the controller will validate the input, update the appointment, record in the database, and confirm the action by displaying the updated result on the screen. Finally, this slide addresses the system exception for the beautician dashboard. Exception flow 1 on the left handle, loading failures. If the controller encounter a database connection error during the initial data retrieval, it will immediately alert the interface that the shader cannot be loaded. For exception flow 2 on the right side, it will handle the transaction errors. If the beautician attempt to update an appointment status, but the system fails to commit that update to database, the controller triggers an error message to inform the user that the action was not safe.
To show you what the system actually looks like, here is our HTML user interface for the registration page. So this is the screen that new user will see when they want to sign up for an account with IS Salon. It asks for information, which is full name, email address, phone number, and password. To make things easier for the user and prevent mistakes, we add a show button next to the password line so they can double check what they type. Once the user clicks the register button, the front end sends this data to the controllers to run the security checks. So this is our login interface looks like. So in this screen, users just need to enter their email or username and their password. We also included helpful features like a forward password link and a quick button at the bottom that lets new users jump straight back to the registration screen if they don't have an account yet. So by clicking the login, start the validation process to check their details and open their account dashboard.
Now, for my UI design, so the first module is service list page. This page shows all available salon service in catalog format. Customer can filter by categories such as hair, facial, nail, and massage. Each service card shows the service name, short description, price, and duration. Customer click view details to see more. If no service are available, a friendly message appears with a refresh button. Next, for the service details module page, this page shows full information about a selected service, including the price, duration, rating, treatment description, before and after photos, and customer reviews. The customer can click proceed booking to continue or save to wishlist. A confirmation pop-up appears before redirecting to the booking page. For the admin side, there is a service management page where the admin can view all services in a table and they can click edit or delete. When admin is editing, a form appears to update the service name, category, price, duration, and description. If invalid data is entered, a validation error message is shown. That's all for my UI design.
Now I will present the user interface design for the booking and payment modules. The booking UI consists of 6 screens. The customer interface main booking page and the booking form, pop-ups for updating, deleting, and viewing booking. The beautician interface to view, accept, or reject incoming requests. The payment UI consists of 5 screens. The customer interface payment form and a payment history page. A will receipt pop-up. The admin wheel for tracking transactions and payment report screen for management review. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Now, let's look at the actual user interface, starting with the customer dashboard. On the left sidebar, customer have clear navigation, option to manage their profile, view booking history, check payment record, and browse the service catalog. The main panel highlight key, battery at a glance, their active booking, total spending, and rewards point. Below this, the upcoming booking section provide complete detail of their next appointment, along with functional button to either reschedule or cancel. We also integrated a past booking section with a quick rebook button, allowing the customer to easily book their favorite treatment again in just one click. Next is the beautician dashboard, which utilize a green color theme to clearly distinguish it from the customer view. The sidebar navigation allow beautician to manage their daily schedule, track incoming bookings, view customer record, and update their specialty profile. At the top, summary card display today's client count, pending confirmation, and available time slot. The central new booking request panel acts as the main task list, and it will allowing the beautician to directly accept or reject pending appointment. Finally, the today's schedule timeline at the bottom list active appointment chronologically, showing completed status to help them manage their shift efficiently.